That's where there is this shocking and unprecedented behavior and events, and people trying to make sense of something that's completely new, or feels completely new, where massive disruption is occurring. I mean, what Salomon Brothers Trading Floor and Michael Milken's Drexel Bond department were really like turning the financial world on its head at that time, and that was part of the excitement of the story. So the same may be true of crypto. The problem with crypto so far for me is, I'm going to get slayed for this, but taking it seriously. So I had this encounter, and it's a little parable. It's a microcosm of a bunch of similar encounters I've had. I got a call. This was like 6 years ago, so kind of early in the whole thing. Bitcoin is like, people are starting to look like, they were smart to own some Bitcoin. And there were, like, the great and the good of Bitcoin, I was told, were gathering in a house in Silicon Valley, and I should come down and just meet them. And the guy who asked me actually said, if you come down, you'll meet Satoshi. And I thought, well, I don't really care all that much, but I'm curious. So I drove down, I got in my car, and drove all the way to Palo Alto, and I could smell the weed from, like, 2 blocks away. You know, it was just like, the weed was kind of coming out of the chimney. And it was a funny scene. It was like 12 rooms and sleeping bags in all the rooms, and some of the people actually, there were future billionaires in that house. But they were trying to persuade me that this was the money of not the money of the future. And it did feel like when I came to understand what this money was, that if this had been the money of the present and someone invented actual dollar bills, people would say, wow, this is a fantastic revolution. And they took me. So I said, I just don't believe this is money. I don't believe this is going to work. I think the kind of things you need to do to make this money are going to undermine the things you love the most about it. And they said, no, come on with us. We're going to show you that you can spend this already. And we walked into Palo Alto, and there was a coffee shop. And sure enough, it said, we accept Bitcoin. And we sat there for, 20 minutes trying to pay for a cup of coffee with Bitcoin until finally, they couldn't do it. I finally pulled out a $5 bill, and it worked just beautifully.